I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. Shalom TV may have stirred up a bit of controversy between a new group calling itself the Emergency Committee for Israel and former U.S. Ambassador to Israel Martin Indyk. A new political group chaired by famed Republican strategist Bill Kristol and well-known Republican supporter Gary Bauer has published a full-page ad in 23 Jewish newspapers citing what it calls, quote, liberal criticism of President Obama's Israel record, and specifically mentions Abe Foxman of the Anti-Defamation League and Ambassador Indyk. The ad quotes a passage from Ambassador Indyk's recent book, Bending History, which reads, From his first day in the White House, he, President Obama, put the Middle East at the top of his political agenda. Unfortunately for him, his personal involvement only made things worse. And the ad highlights the ambassador's words, only made things worse, by printing them in red. Ambassador Indyk, who now serves as Vice President and Director of the Foreign Policy Program at the Brookings Institution in Washington, D.C., seems to have serious issues with the ad. When Shalom TV called Ambassador Indyk for comment, his office responded to Shalom TV with the following statement. I am deeply disappointed that my analysis of President Obama's Middle East policy, as outlined in my recent book, Bending History, Barack Obama's Foreign Policy, has been distorted for partisan political purposes. President Obama has made mistakes just like others who have tried and failed to make peace in the Middle East. I include myself in that category. But the president has been true to his promise of doing everything possible to ensure Israel's security, and he deserves high praise for that. Shalom TV also contacted Abe Foxman and was told by an ADL spokesperson that Mr. Foxman hasn't spoken out about the ad, though he may at some point. During his recent visit to Israel over the weekend, U.S. presidential candidate Mitt Romney declared Jerusalem to be the capital of the Jewish state, while speaking to an Israeli audience in the city. Former Palestinian chief negotiator Saeb Erekat condemned Romney's statements on Monday and said that Romney's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital was, quote, absolutely unacceptable, saying it goes against years of U.S. policy and that comments like this only strengthen extremism, hatred, and violence in the region. A senior aide to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Nabil Abu Radene, said Romney's statement stood in the way of a peace settlement. 6 Qassam rockets were fired into Israel over the weekend from Gaza. The rockets landed in the western Negev region in the southern part of the country. Ynet reported that a 29-year-old woman was injured while running to a shelter, but otherwise there were no injuries or damage reported. Representative Nancy Pelosi, the minority leader of the U.S. House of Representatives, said that Republicans exploit Jewish voters for political gain. Pelosi made the comments in an interview with the Bloomberg News Service on Friday, suggesting that Jewish voters who strongly support Israel are being used by Republicans who are trying to portray Obama as unsupportive of Israel. Pelosi said they are, quote, using Israel as an excuse. What they really want are tax cuts for the wealthy. House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, the only Jewish Republican in Congress, responded to Pelosi's comments, saying, it is both patronizing and deeply insulting for Nancy Pelosi to suggest any Jew is exploited for their political beliefs or that support for Israel is somehow an excuse for anything. Cantor further said such thinking diminishes the importance of issues affecting Jews everywhere. Several Jewish groups joined a wide array of religious and secular organizations in sending a letter to 5 members of Congress whose allegations they say endanger religious freedom. Last month, Republican Congress members Michelle Bachmann, Trent Franks, Louis Gohmert, Thomas Rooney, and Lynn Westmoreland made assertions that several individuals who hold sensitive positions in the U.S. government had connections to and were associated with the Muslim Brotherhood. Among those individuals mentioned was Huma Abedin, a deputy chief of staff for Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The Interfaith Alliance organized the letter in response to the allegations, which stated, quote, we take offense to the implications of your actions for the American Muslim community as a whole, as you give momentum to guilt by association accusations and betray our foundational religious freedoms. The response letter was signed by the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College, the National Council of Jewish Women, Rabbis for Human Rights North America, and the Society for Humanistic Judaism. They joined the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, the American Civil Liberties Union, the NAACP, and the American Baptist Churches USA, among others. And that's Shalom TV's News Update. I'm Teisha Bader.